Hello, I'm Rixon. I'm a Starseed Jeweler, and I've been recently called to be a lightworker. And I just wanted to pop on because I had what you might call a download. I'm not totally sure because this is all very new to me. I was only recently called to pursue this. So I think my purpose is to design jewelry that's like a best friend. Um, and it waits in your heart. It's you, yet you are not alone. So, we're going to call on your resources, spirit guides, angels. Ask for help. You already hold the answers and your life purpose in your heart. You just need to clear away the strings, the stuff that's drowning out your brilliant, shining inner light. So, a little backstory to this is I got an idea to design a line of jewelry where the jewelry would be like wrapped up in a bag with strings. And as you go through healing those triggers, so like every time you would feel a trigger, you pull on the string and then work backwards in your own life, in your own mind, about where those triggers are coming from. And you collect all of those moments. Say, for example, I recently did fear. So I thought of all the moments that I felt fear and collected them all up. And then I visualized a room with the word fear on it. And inside were all of the memories, all of the people whom I'd felt fear with or from in the room. And I imagined shining a light on them. And I got quite emotional. I was crying. And I thought of each of those moments. And I didn't actually, in this particular healing session, do this, but often I will imagine what my past self needed. So I'll imagine myself as a child and my now self going in and giving myself what I needed, like comfort, love, validation, attention, maybe just hugs, maybe I needed accommodations. And I imagine that and I imagine it until my past self, like my inner child, feels healed, like feels comforted. So back to this session that I did with healing fear. So I I asked myself, what is fear teaching me? And I got this idea from StarMess. I think her name's Kamelia. I'll put the link on Spotify. So she talked about asking fear, what are you trying to tell me? So as I asked myself, why I was feeling fear, I was feeling scared that people wouldn't like me if I was myself, if I spoke my truth, if I acted the way I wanted. I was scared that I couldn't control my body, that people would make fun of me, that I'd be ostracized. And then that kind of opened up the door to what was behind the fear, and that was the fear of being alone. And I knew that I kind of found it because it just felt like that was it, like I was crying a lot. So I think of so back to the jewelry, the idea is to have like a physical representation of that process. So you would be like following the threads, and then once you find it, you almost like fix what was happening in the past. And then I tell myself, or you can tell yourself, that whatever we developed from that memory, so maybe I covered up myself, like covered up my light. My mood fell down. I dimmed my light in order to be liked, to not feel like I was annoying people. Um, and now I know that I don't have to do that anymore. So I can cut the thread um, to that memory, to that trauma where the thread is attached to now. And that's why I get triggered for certain things. Like, anyway, I'm digressing. So the idea is to then in this memory with fear, I opened up the door, letting everyone out of this room, and I stopped to hug some of them and said, like, I understand that the reason you treated me that way was because of your own fear. Like, it was not mine, and I'm giving it back, and it's okay now. And, you know, I kind of let them out, and I remember thinking, like, I don't need to hold on to these people, these memories anymore. They're no longer serving me. And sometimes, like, I've done it where I'll do like a specific person, and maybe it's like my mom or my dad, and I'll like give them back whatever it is, and then I'll kind of feel bad. Like, I'll think like, well, I don't want you to have it either. So then I'll do kind of like a offshoot healing session where I almost like heal them. Like, I'll call on my grandma and be like, Grandma, let's help Dad like heal this. Maybe he inherited it from you, like by mistake. And I've even done visualizations where I'll kind of like call on all of my ancestors and imagine like a shooting light or line of healing, to heal like the entire ancestral line, with like love and understanding and like a release that this is not ours, like it was given to us at some point, and even whoever that was who gave it to us was maybe just inherited from someone else, or was just like dealing with their own traumas, their own struggles, and like put it or gave it to us. So I'm not like an expert at any of this by any means. I mean, maybe I am and I don't know it, but I'm new to this. So this is all like intuitive work. So yeah. But it seems to be working for me, because I feel less and less kind of like burdened and triggered in my life. Once I felt like I figured out what was at the root. And I think what I was trying to say is it's almost like the more it upsets you, the more it needs your attention. So our instinct is to avoid discomfort and to avoid pain. But if we're in a safe place, like in our bedroom, like meditating or doing this intentionally, then we are safe and we can push through the discomfort. So it feels kind of like, it doesn't feel wrong, but it's like our instinct is telling us to stop. Like many times when I do this work, I'll think, oh, I need to text that person, or I'll want to get distracted from what I'm doing. And I'll sort of think, no, like focus, you are getting somewhere, you are getting to the root. And I try to think of it more like a mission, like a video game or a story that I'm reading, where like to not take myself so seriously, even though it is like serious work. I think of it as like an adventure, like what is this trigger trying to tell me? What can I learn about myself? And now that I've done it, I know that at the end, it's like a rainbow, it's like treasure. And so in my jewelry, I want to make it where at the end, after you unravel all of these threads to get to the heart, which was always there, it was just covered up and you couldn't hear it. I'm sort of doing an analogy. The jewelry is an analogy for like your inner light, your heart. Once you get rid of all that stuff, then you have this like beautiful treasure. So it's like the triggers transform into treasures. Thanks for watching. Oh, I should say like, follow, subscribe, Rixon Jewelry, all the places. This new design will be coming out this year. I'm working on it now. There's one. Oh, this piece I drew recently, which is very exciting. So I was thinking it might be a candidate for one of these special pieces that will be all wrapped up. And I also plan to do this process as like a 7-day healing journey and like email, so it can be free. and maybe it will have printouts where you can like print out symbols, jewelry, and wrap it up and do the process with like the paper version so people can still enjoy, well, enjoy trauma work, yeah. Enjoy this like benefit from this process. Thanks for watching.